everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Monday. All right, I'm still waking up myself. Woo. All right, we're going to do self-awareness and self-care. Again, Renee Ariano, your CAPS Academy instructor. All right, let's go. I'm sharing my screen, correct? Right on, right on. All right. We went through the comfort agreement with Miss Carrie. Right on. All right. So what does today look like? We're going to discuss the importance of self-care and coping practices for helping professionals, coping practices for us peer support specialists, especially today, right? Here we go. We're going to know the importance of ongoing support for overcoming stress in the workplace. So we're talking about our support, right? As peer support specialists, taking care of ourselves and having our own support, right? Understanding burnout, right? And using the self-awareness to prevent compassion fatigue. We're going to talk about that if you don't know what it is. Vicarious trauma and secondary trauma stress, traumatic stress. All right, being able to share your own tools of self-care with others. So being peer support specialists, we're going to role model, we're going to be coaching. So we got to have, be able to take care of ourselves to be able to share with others and also share those tools, how we did it. Did we do safety and crisis yet? Planning, Miss Helen? Oh, you're going to love that. Helen, I think you're doing that one this time, right? Maybe. Yeah, it's really good.
It's tomorrow morning at 9.
Woohoo! All right. Learn to respond appropriately to your personal stressors, triggers, and indicators. Sometimes, you walk in that door, it's like you got to leave your stuff there and walk in, right? And try to be mindful. If you could be aware of your own triggers and stressors, that's really good too. All right, develop a working knowledge of the concepts of activation. We're going to talk about activation and self-management of whole health goals. When we talk about activation, let's say we're trying to get away from the word triggered, right? So we talk about activation and self-management. All right, self-awareness and self-care. Self-awareness gives us that chance to tune in to what we're feeling, right? And what we need to do and how we can best care for ourselves, right? But the bottom line is that without that self-awareness, there can't be any self-care because you don't know, you're just kind of in it, right? So we need to have that self-awareness to be like, something's not right with me right here, right? Then but we got to get into our self-care, right? So we are going to talk about self-care, self-awareness and self-care, as well as our role in the people that we work with, right? So we want to ask ourselves a question, right? Ask yourself this: am I aware of my thoughts? We either do or we don't, right? It's like mindful breathing, right? Unless we're mindful about it, then we know, right? And what do you do for self-care, right? What's helped you the most immediately? Go ahead and throw that in the chat box. Hopefully, Carlos, you can throw some of those out for us. That'd be great. All right. It all starts with us, peer support specialists, right? We have to be in a good place with our own recovery, physically, mentally, right? To be effective at supporting other people. And I know I'm repeating myself, but this is so important, right? I used to think, like when I was doing my training, even in school for the psych tech program, self-care. And I'm like, what are they talking about? And until you get in the field, then you're like, oh yeah, extra special, right? So it's really important to be present, right? We're going to talk about that in groups too. When you're going to facilitate a group, make sure you leave your stuff at the door, you're present, you're ready to go, right? So you can be effective in supporting ourselves, not only ourselves, but also those that we are being an example for, right? So those of you that are going to apply this and show signs like, okay, so let's say we're trying to apply this, but we show poor coping signs, right? Us as peer support specialists, right? That's probably not going to, we're probably not going to be so beneficial to the one we're working with. So keep yourself in check. Just if you're feeling stressed, struggling with a member and it's impacting them and yourself, talk to your team. Talk to your team. Let them know what's going on, right? Use your team as a support. All right, so let's prepare for the day. I know it's been kind of funky. It's a Monday, so go ahead and turn your cameras off. We're going to do a little bit of a meditation. I really suggest you try it. I know some of us are going to turn it off and be like, yeah. make a phone call. But really try to turn off your camera and let's try to get into this because this is really helpful. And we could also use this tool with the peers that we'll be working with. All right. So hopefully we can share this. And I got the sound. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure my sound's right. I see you, Annika. Do me a favor, give me a thumbs up if you could hear it and see it. Okay.
Welcome to today's guided meditation in honor of World Mental Health Day. In this meditation, we are going to take time to check in with our body and energy and give ourselves the space we need to heal. Begin in a comfortable position with eyes closed. Connect with your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest, the expansion and contraction of your lungs. Breathing in and out. Take a moment to do a scan of your body, paying attention to how it feels. Notice any discomfort, pain, or tightness. Notice things that feel good as well. Start at the very top of your head, breathing in and moving down your body slowly as you breathe out. Down to your chin, to your neck, and further down. Take note of how your body feels, but don't dwell on it. Down to your chest, your stomach, your hips, and down to the very bottom of your body. Take a deep breath here. Feel yourself grounded and stable in your body. Breathe deeply. Take the time out of your day today to do something for self-care. It could be something as small as taking a stroll in nature, touching the earth for a moment, or making yourself a nice hot cup of tea. Connect again with your breath, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Feel the heat of the air as it exits your body. Breathing in and out. Move about in any way that feels good, slowly coming back to your body in this time and space. And whenever you are ready, slowly open your eyes.
I know if you haven't really done that, I could have picked a shorter one. But that is really good when you're into it. It is a challenge actually to do more than 2 minutes, maybe. but if you really get into it and try it, it's pretty cool. It takes practice. But that was just something, even looking at that, just the butterfly, the trees. But how many times I tell you, when you take a break, go take off your shoes, go walk in the grass, maybe, right? It makes me, Helen and I and Carlos were talking about tea this morning, right? How tea's really good for you. Anyway, just a tool. You could use a small, like a shorter video. There's that tapping, but it's always good. Like if you're going to start a group or you're working with someone, you notice that you're funky, a little funky, you got some funky energy. Let's do a little guided breathing, right? All right. Let's keep going. Let me share. Hit the screen. All right. And you could still see my screen, right? All right. Now, in order to be effective, we talked about, right? We have to have a good knowledge of this information, right? So these two definitions, right? So our role we talked about is supporting with activation, right? Getting someone to get, like, let's say, we'll go into that. And teaching self-management. So a peer support specialist helps coach people to cope better and moving on to something more sustainable. Peer support specialists work. We don't tell people what to do, but we empower them. I got to change that. We don't empower them, but we give them opportunities to empower themselves, right? You guys are all, there you are, right? So you may have heard activation. We said triggered. We're moving away from that. Think of your role, right? When we're working with peers, what it was like to just try to think about what it's like walking in their shoes. I know we have shared experience, lived experience and stuff, but when you're getting a little funky, let's just try to think about what it's like in their shoes. And then what we're teaching them and like how we're taking care of ourselves also reflects onto them, and we're an example. Where's my slide? All right. So what does this look like? We talked about this is behavioral activation, right? Challenges. When we see challenges, they can actually be opportunities as well. But when we're depressed and you're feeling a little funk, right? Sometimes we wait. Oh, maybe when I start feeling better, I'll do something, right? Oh, this and that. Like, when is the right time to do something? So here's an activity, right? With the depression, right? We just kind of keep going in this funky circle. We're feeling sad, lonely, no energy. How many of you can relate to that? I know I can, right? So it's like what we're doing every day. And then finally, it's like whatever you need to do when we do get out of it, think about what it is that helps you get out of it. We bounce off and then we have to do what more. So it's like training yourself, we got to train ourselves to do some more of what we like. Sometimes we don't know what we like. I talked about working with our members and trying to pull out, listening to them when you're trying to build that rapport and pull out what they enjoy. Like I talked about Kehulu, the guy that liked to swim, who I was talking to, who wanted to swim in the Samoa Islands, right? So we tend to do less activity when we're not feeling well, obviously. But then we start to do more of what matters, and then you start feeling better about yourself. Maybe starting to exercise, right? I know after a while, you start moving, you start feeling better. Sometimes I have to put my running shoes. I know Carlos will probably relate to this, or any of you that run. I have to put my running shoes right next to my bed. And when I get up, I have to put them on and get out the door before my mind catches up and realizes what my body's doing, right? It's a way to look at it. So more about behavioral activation. Let me show you a little video on this. All right. I see you, Janet. Let me know, thumbs up. Can you hear it? See it? Yeah, right on. Thank you, though.
I've never been a really active person. I don't like sports, I'm not in band, and I'm not really in any clubs. So at first, I didn't even notice when I started to withdraw. As things got worse, I stopped hanging out with friends. Then I quit my part-time job. I stopped sitting with anyone at lunch, and finally stopped leaving the house unless I absolutely had to. When my depression was at its worst, I almost never even left my room. One of the main symptoms of depression is a loss of interest in being active or interacting with people. This can make you stop doing things you used to enjoy, and the more you withdraw from those things, the worse the depression usually gets. One coping strategy that really helped me break this cycle and get back to my normal self was behavioral activation. To do behavioral activation, I chose and planned things that got me moving and forced me out of isolation. The goal is to get out of the downward cycle and start doing things that will reverse it. Like, I used to enjoy taking my dog for walks while listening to music, but when I was depressed, I never fell up to it. It was a big step for me to schedule time every day to walk my dog and really commit to it. At first, I just walked him for a few minutes, but I made sure I did it every day. And I rewarded myself each time with something small, like listening to my favorite song. To be honest, it wasn't even fun at first, but I stuck with it, and after a few weeks, I actually started looking forward to my walks again. I also pushed myself to reach out to a few friends and eat with them at lunch. It seems a little backwards, but by doing things before I felt like it, I slowly started to enjoy them again. Now, I try not to wait until I feel motivated to do something active or important, because I know that staying in my room will just make things worse in the long run. Behavioral activation seems really simple on the surface. Plan some physically active tasks and then do them. But when I felt really depressed, it was almost impossible to do things that used to be fun. For most people with depression, it's important to set small goals and reward any successes. For me, it was also important to do the tasks consistently, even though I wasn't enjoying them at the beginning. The upward cycle of activity can take time to get going, but it can have a big impact on your life if you stick with it.
Pretty self-explanatory, right? It's just like this. But when we get our coping tools and we find out what we like, it'll suck less, right? We're just kind of, we just got to find something that they're into. Remember, do it with them. Let's get together and do something. But it's really hard. And I wrote some notes for myself. Also for your homework assignment, I went ahead and put a sheet. Sometimes, you got to do that. What is it, the daily maintenance, like the hours, like I have to do my schedule on our little planners and stuff with the blocking out times and stuff. Sometimes that's helpful. Sometimes homework assignments can be stressful, right? Maybe not being behind on a bill, right? That could cause stress. Like these things, I put a budget planner. Miss Helen is awesome about that, right? So writing a list of things that you enjoy to do, writing a gratitude list, that'll take you out of yourself. That's for sure. I had a sponsor that made me write 25 things that I was grateful for 1 week, and they couldn't be the same thing. That's not easy. But let me tell you, when you do write those things down, it's hard. It's hard not to be grateful, right? And to step out of that funky mood. I started, I thank you, Helen. I got a new book and it's called Morning Pages. And I started, this is the third day, Carlos. It's called The Artist Way. It's a book I got from Miss Helen, and it's called the opening Morning Pages. And so right when you wake up, write 3 pages of just whatever's on your mind. It could be like, this sucks, I don't know what to write. Write out the date and just let it flow. Pretty interesting. I'll see what happens. I'll report to you next week. That comes out of that. But let's go this. So how do we stay positive? Actually, I want to throw that out there. How many of you know when you're starting to feel funky? Like, how do we know when we're starting to get in that, like, I'm starting to get in that funky circle, right? Did it take a while for you to get the the pattern down, right? Takes a pattern down. Sometimes I just want to sit in it. Anybody just want to sit in it sometimes? I had a sponsor who was like, okay, so how long do you want to suffer for? When's the last time you've been to a meeting? I'm like, oh, yeah, right. Okay. Contrary action, taking contrary action. Okay, so I know I play a lot of Michael Franti for you all out there, that Michael Franti and Spearhead. You'll hear a lot of the music that I play. I usually do. But he does a lot of stuff with mental health. He himself struggles with depression. And here's a little something on how he stays positive. And I thought this was just kind of cute. Cool guy. Hasn't worn shoes in years, and that's another whole thing to look into. Yeah, really interesting. More than 13 years. All right, here we go. And let me know if you can hear it. Who do I see? Okay, I'm just going to hear you. Have to have somebody shout out that you could hear it.
So many people,
You're good, Renee.
Okay.
who are
Thank you.
depressed or sad or grieving, they really don't see a way out of it. And what I love about your story and your music is that you really bring yourself into your music, right? I mean, you're so positive, but you also are honest about your raw feelings.
Yeah. You know, I believe that the way out of depression is to have ease of heart. And what that means for me is that whatever it is that's in my heart, whether it's absolute joy or whether it's sadness or pain or some grieving for some trauma that's happened a long time ago, as long as I'm able to let it out and have that ease of heart, to cry when I need to laugh when I need to turn the music up really loud and dance when I need to, then I find that healing and those feelings just pass. But it's when I get bottled up, that's when the anxiety builds up, and it's like a negative spiral. It's like if you start going down, it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. But if you can learn ways to keep yourself going up and finding that light and that positivity and that optimism, then it prevents you from going down there as often.
Yeah, and in addition to your great music, you're also an award-winning filmmaker. Your documentary, which I saw and loved it, is called Stay Human, is something that absolutely everyone should watch. Let's take a look.
No one is born perfect. And that is the one thing that unites all of us. And we learn from our struggles. So maybe our struggles are our greatest gifts.
Man, so the documentary came out before the pandemic, but how did traveling the world and hearing all of these amazing stories, how did that help you get through the dark days?
Well, there's this ongoing battle in my mind. Every day when I wake up, first thing I do is I kiss my wife, Sarah, and then I check my phone. If I do it in the wrong order, I'm in deep doo.
That's right.
Just a little bit of relationship advice. But I check my phone, and it's like, there's not a day that goes by that I don't think, man, this world has just turned into such a mess. There's environmental crisis and COVID-19 and political division. And then we see moments of healing. We see the Black Lives Matter movement, where there's all this new awareness that comes about. But a lot of times we get stuck in this thought process of cynicism versus optimism. And when I traveled around the world and started talking to people and meeting people who were just ordinary people doing extraordinary things to make a difference in others' lives, I saw how it was that they were able to find that sense of optimism even when they were in, hurricanes. And when they're able to find that hope and that optimism and get through it, it just reminds me that, wow, maybe there's a way that I can do it. And then through my music, if I can share those things that I've experienced, those dark moments, and how to transform them into light through music, it really resonates with people. And that's what I've tried to do all these years. Is just my wife and I have a saying. It's inside of our wedding ring, and it's be your best, serve the greater good, and rock out wherever you are. And that means not to be the best, but it means to just find ways to improve your life every day and become a better person. And then use those things that you've learned to serve the greater good in some way.
Wow. Well, again, the new album is called Work Hard and Be Nice. Your documentary is Stay Human. Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Dr. Ian.
Thoughts? Anyone? Thoughts? Feels like a Monday. Carlos, any thoughts? Oh, Kurt, please. Yes.
Yeah. I used to be, I'm going to say used to, but still sarcastic, but very cynical, pessimistic. And I did not like Michael Franti for all those reasons, because I love to commiserate. And he was like that friend that when you just wanted to say, you wanted another person to say, yeah, the world sucks, people suck. But he was always like that person who would say, hey, maybe they're having a bad day. Or, hey, maybe they're going through something you don't know. And you go, you're always like that, Michael. Like, why do you have to be like that? And I realized the more I get into the healing side of my life, I've lost those friends. I don't have anyone to commiserate with anymore. And now I actually enjoy his music, and I do the things I never thought I would like doing. And I'm a songwriter myself, and my music these days is geared towards healing. And it's just amazing to think, oh man, I never saw myself doing this. So that's what I got from him. Thank you.
You know what? Thank you, because that that you know of his music, right? Michael Franti. Amazing. Thank you. Joshua, hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Hey, I really like that
Yeah.
video. I really like that video. What it told me was that of course, we have feelings and emotions, but also too, like when I'm in a funk, because you earlier you were talking about your sponsor too. May kind of make this a two-in-one. My sponsor would tell me, he would be like, feel those feelings, but also to turn them into a motivator to do either to do things that you probably don't want to do, or to do things that that you needed to do that day, whether if I'm moving on fear or depression or anxiety or something like that. So just more or less use it as a motivator to keep moving forward. And also too, because I'm a mentor here at this drug and alcohol program. I'm in my room, of course, but long story short, a couple guys this morning, I caught them on like a bad mood, and really just started to validate their feelings, but also too coming from a place of comfort and understanding what they're going through, and kind of turned their frown upside down today, and it felt good. Thank you.
I love it. I love it, right? To be on that other end and to be able to be aware and see it and to be able to help someone else. God, Kurt, I just keep thinking, people get weeded out of your life because they're not serving your best purpose, right? They're not serving your best purpose. Brandon, what's happening? Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
What did you get out of that?
I really appreciated the be your best aspect that was on his ring. Rather than be the best, be your best. And just like that aspect of daily improvement and that opportunity to empower yourself, to engage in the world around you, as well as yourself, in order to improve yourself on a daily basis.
Right on. Thank you. Thank you. I love that. Be your best. Not do your best, be your best. All right. Shanae, did I say that? Shanae?
Hi, everyone. I
Good
recognize.
morning. Happy Monday.
Good morning. I recognize what he was talking about. I'm familiar with it. So what I've learned to do is continue to stimulate my brain. Don't let too much idle time, your brain just go idle, because that's when the monsters start coming out. I also choose my words wisely. I don't use the words problems or anything like that, because then I notice you start feeling like it. So if there is a situation, I just know that it's going to come to pass. So I just start channeling myself.
I like that. I like that. I heard use your
Thank you.
hands. The grandmother told their children, like, something's gone funky, use your hands. They're like, what? Create something, get busy, do something, journal, right? All right, Annika, what you got?
I think
What'd
that
you get
from
out
the
of it?
video, just to kind of feel our feelings and to motivate ourselves is important. And I think through, as a peer, it's really helpful to get ourselves through certain things too, because we're a peer. So part of it is, sharing our experience with other people. And, I was in therapy and they kind of painted a mental health picture, and I had to go, I've been going through the court and lots of paperwork, and, but I have 2 kids, a job, and it was all about, the picture he painted was kind of mental health. So through this experience, it's how am I supporting myself so I can, because wherever we are, we're, we're living our life. We need to be our best self, and to just stay in a good place no matter where we are, because just to think, just to be positive and just make it, a good situation, make it a good day for ourselves. Look at the,
Right on.
the better picture.
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you. Right on. I'd like the title of his thing. It was like, what do you do to stay positive, right? To stay positive. All right. So share what keeps you positive. So that video clip Michael shared to you what keeps him positive. Therefore, we can continue passing it forward and sharing with others what keeps us positive. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I know I got messages from you all, but I'll take a look at them. My ADD is kind of, I get distracted. All right, thank you. Yeah, Michael Franti, if you get a chance, check him out, read about him, whatnot. His concerts are really cool because he does a huge yoga class for everybody that's in the concert before the show. And when he is in the show, he brings all the kids in and he walks out into the crowd like just cool people, down to earth. Super cool. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to probably take a break and then get into an exercise. And I want to make sure I explain this. Am I sharing my screen now, huh? Okay, there we go. Thank you. All right, let me go back. All right, I was going to say breakout room. Oh. So we're going to practice. What we're going to do is we're going to practice. We're going to see what I want to see what your style in practicing a technique of an activation approach, right, with someone. So what I mean is like when you're going to work with them, you're okay. You got someone you're going to work with, right? You got another peer. You're like, hey, right? So what kind of approach would you, as a peer support specialist, practice? What technique of activating someone to help activate them, to give them like some motivation, let's say, right? Carlos, oh yeah, we're going to do 5 rooms.
5 rooms.
How many do we have? I kind of want to have 4 to 5 people.
We have 43 students.
Okay.
You still want 5 rooms?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That'll be 8 to 9 students per room.
Ooh, no. Okay, let's do 8 rooms.
8 rooms. Okay, got it. That will be 5 to 6 students per room.
Okay, let's keep it like that.
Okay.
All right. So right on. Let's do everybody good with 10 minutes? I can't see anybody, but are they good? I just want to make sure. Sometimes it's like too much time, too little time.
No middle fingers.
Okay. And I'll put the question in the chat box. We'll go over it right now. But so do me a favor, identify a note taker in your group, and then we're gonna pick a spokesperson who's gonna come out and share for you. All right. Okay. Quick question for you all. How many of you honestly take a lunch at work? Do you see many hands, Carlos? Right? It's kind of funky. So I did the same thing, right? Like that's where we got to be careful with burnout, right? We'll go more into that. But is it Gail? Did you have your hand up?
She was just raising her hand when you asked your question.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. So this is what our breakout, this is what we're going to talk about here, right? So as a peer support specialist, this is what you're going to talk about, right? How would you approach activation, which is trying to encourage someone, right? You're connecting with who's experiencing a challenge, let's say related to their health with smoking, obesity, or uncontrolled diabetes. Okay. Remember the Samoan man that I told you, he had a lot of health issues, right? Let's see, they got health issues and they're reporting to you. They're saying, Angelina, I'm not feeling good. I'm sad. I'm tired. I feel alone, right? Hopeless. Like, so what does educating, right, or empowering that person look like in practice? Remember we talked about psych rehab. What would you say or do to help this person, to kind of help them, here there's that cycle where you're feeling like shit. What are you going to do to help them jump to the next part, to find something that they enjoy, to help them get out of it, right? Does that sound, am I explaining that pretty well? Yeah, right on. And if not, you could ask too, but let's take a break. What do you think about taking a little bit of a break? It's a little earlier than usual. Is that all right? And then we'll go into our breakout rooms. Sound good?
Sounds good. 9:47 now. Please be back at 9:57. Thank you.
For us all. There we go. All right. Here's what it is. Just your prompt. Okay. Got some health issues. They're feeling pretty depressed. However you want to do the situation. What is it? How are you guys? What is that going to look like when you're working with this individual, with education? And that could be just providing information and empowering, helping them to feel empowered. All right. So we got 10 minutes in the room. Y'all are broken down. All right. Everyone got, raise your hand if you need me to fly in. Got a lot of cameras on. Okay. Hopefully everyone's back. And we're all good with 10 minutes, right? All right, Carlos, let's open those rooms.
Alrighty, rooms are open, y'all.
Thank you.
Please join your classmates. You're welcome.
Okay. There was some good conversation in those rooms.
Yeah, it took me out.
Do we have flies? You know how
Where
I
do
drop
we
the mic
go?
and I'm like, see if there's a fly. Where'd
Hey,
you go? Is that
phone
you,
cut.
Rudy? I can't see her face.
Hear me?
All right. Welcome back. All right. So how was that for everyone? Was that too many people in the room or was that good? Y'all were able to duke it out? Right on. All right. So I'd love to hear. Let's see. Room 1, Ariane, Janet, Joseph, Sheba,
Right.
Talon, and Vivian. All
I did
right.
say I was gonna be the
Janet.
speaker
Right on.
for this one, and I do apologize if my Wi-Fi is spotty.
All good.
Kind of not the best time, especially in this heat. But so we were talking about for the people that, well, the first one, I forgot to write down what the first one was, but I did say to encourage them with maybe some more physical activities, like if they're feeling restless or if they want to kind of like they have 1,000 things running through their mind, but they don't want to do anything. The best thing we said that we would encourage is walking, because as soon as we get our feet moving, we got our minds moving, and that's the best way that we can encourage moving forward. Because then once you start moving, you can also start opening up, and as well as for people with cravings for like smoking, anybody that has like the nicotine crave, we were saying either spacing out the amount of nicotine breaks you get, just so that you can also kind of pace yourself and seeing like, hey, do I really need this? Oh my God, I really need this right now. Can I have this right now? It's just spacing it out, seeing how you can train yourself to not have it or crave it as much. And we were also saying at least acknowledging that they have, or to gain the knowledge of restraint for it as well. Like, yes, I need it. I need to take that break. And for obesity, I was saying, because I work in a crisis residential, so we do give them meals every day. We give them 3 snacks a day and 3 meals a day. So for us, with the people with like special dietary needs, we always say, hey, like, let's meal prep, or let's plan out how you would like to moving forward. I understand that you get cravings sometimes and it can be overwhelming, but if we pre-portion everything and the way that you would like it, it can benefit you.
Right. Oh, I love that. Thank you. And you know what? Sometimes, you know how we had the medical issues in there? Sometimes those medical issues can exacerbate and look like a mental health, like a psychosis or whatnot, and it could really be something medical. So I put that in there. Right on. Thank you. Right. Going for the walk always helps. If someone is always agitated, I'll be like, hey, let's just start talking and walking. We're going around the block. Next thing you know, just they don't even know we're going for a walk, just down like a de-escalate. Fantastic. Thank you. And that the harm reduction, right? Chew some gum. Let's do 5 minutes. Do you really need it? Thank you, Janet. Thank you, room 1. Room 2, we have Mal, Matthew, Nathan, Oscar, Yolanda, and Annika. Who do we have for your speaker? Who's the speaker? Oh, Annika.
Yeah. We had a lot of great ideas. One is really important. It kind of goes together to research the ailment so that we're familiar with what they're experiencing and have some background to just medical knowledge for them, so that we can relate to them and they can relate to us. Also to share other stories of where people have had that experience and what they did to to manage it, to overcome some challenges and to make it better for them. Also to empower them is important, so that we're not doing the work for them, that they come up with ideas on their own. And to talk about healthy things that they like. What foods are you eating? What kinds of things do you enjoy? Also to have a meal prep plan and to incorporate it to have a routine for them of what they're eating and when they eat, and to help them, even to provide, to have a cookbook available and say, if you'd like some help, and so it's kind of hands-on. To have a wellness recovery action plan is really important. That's pretty key. and someone was kind of put on the spot because we went over a lot of things, and they came up with a great response, which is to assess where the peer is at. So that's really important.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that, and that's building that, a rapport with them, and, so that they'd like to work with you and they want to work with you. Also to give them other options other than just the medical model. If they're at their home, what kind of things that they enjoy doing, what makes them happy, what are activities that they can do, or, what maybe they want to, contact their family and friends more often by phone. Maybe they like to watch movies and they need some movies brought to them. Maybe they have a car and they're able to, access other resources.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Was a lot of stuff. Right on. There's so many options. It's getting to know that person. It's that building that rapport and getting to know them, what they like. The wellness center was always cool. I'm like, hey, let's go take a art class or let's go do yoga together, But that's, everyone, I could be goofy with one. I can't be goofy with that one kind of. But thank you. Room 3, we have Crystal, Hannah, Rudy, and Victor. What you got?
We have a lot, but we're going to cut it short. I think we started with making them aware the risk factors involved of any type of mental health, health issues, being upfront with the reality of the risk factors, and then together help develop a plan that is tangible for them, not something that's going to be outrageously long term, but short term that is going to address the moment, address the situation. Not overwhelm them, not scare them or create more fear. Instead, incorporating them into the plan always. Providing resources that are actually active and current, not just dumping resources because we have them, but to make sure that they are real, that they still exist. And meeting them where they're at. I mean, they are the professionals of life, of their own life, and just right along with them and empowering them to continue the education about their challenges, making sure that they are aware, helping them develop those short-term goals, long-term goals, and giving them the resources to be able to self-care, groups, relationship building, going out, getting involved socially. Again, just making sure that we focus on them, on the human, not on us, the professionals. Instead, focus on their true needs, their underlying needs, not ours. We don't matter. I mean, the reality is that we're there for a reason. We want to help. Then I think the purpose is to focus on such, developing, creating, and making them aware.
Right on. Thank you. Do you have that overactive helping gene too?
They say I do.
Right?
I'm not
that
sure,
overactive,
but
reactive
they say I
helping
do.
gene.
I've been doing
just
this
go
for
in there and
quite some
wanna help
time.
'em.
I've been doing it for quite some time, so I think it's just nature now.
Right. It's like, I'll walk with you, I'll hold your hand right now, but I'm not going to do more work than you. We're going to let go right here. I love that. Right on. Like I'll share, for instance, like if you're in a funky mood and you're just, I don't know, sometimes I shut down and I just need time. Like, I don't want to be hugged. I don't want to be touched. Just give me a moment to let me freaking just woosah, as Carlos would say, right? I just give me that moment. I had someone actually ask me, I had a situation happen over the weekend of the 4th of July, and she's like, how can I help you? Like, I want to give you a hug. And I'm like, not now. Just let me freaking feel, and sometimes there's that, and meet them where they're at. If that's it, then okay, you still be there, but just sometimes sitting in silence is good enough. Right? Cool. All right, room 3, thank you. Room 4, we got Cecilia, Justin, Miriam, Ruth, Riley. What does that education look like, or that activation? How are you going to motivate them? What you got?
Yeah, so we basically wanted to reiterate what the other groups had said. Just since all these issues are pretty, grand. We wouldn't want to
Yeah.
attack it, just on one day. So really starting by
Oh,
saying,
I love
what's
it.
something that we can change today, and just identifying their goals and strengths, just to remind them of, what they're good at. And also some of us had experience with some of those issues. So definitely sharing our own experience, reminding them of those symptoms that they're experiencing, just so that they don't feel as alone. And yeah, really just making small changes. I like what Janet said about, the smoking and everything like that. So
Yes.
that's what we said.
I love that, baby steps. I know I work with someone. We go to AA meetings. I take a member to AA meetings, whatever. They're trying to get sober, and they're like crying, like, I fucked up. I slipped. I'm like, it's okay. I'm a one step forward, two step back, right? One step forward, two step back. I'm just gonna be there still, no matter what. It's okay. And they kind of, some people are like, oh, what, really? You know? Um, okay, cool. All right. And this is perfect that we're talking about this now, because you're going to have self-disclosure next with Mr. Carlos. And that's talking about sharing your story. Perfect. This works out really well. Thank you. Thank you. Room 5. We have 8 rooms. Okay. Room 5. Bianca, Hillary, Javier, Jonathan, Naomi, Tamika. Who's your spokesperson?
I
Feels like
am.
a talk show or something. A game show.
Okay, so my notes aren't quite linear; they're a little all over the place.
Okay.
But we have basically that you're trying to give them a sense of accomplishment by allowing them to come up with a lot of the suggestions that they're comfortable with. Obviously, being involved in creating suggestions with them, giving them support, maybe researching methods to help them quit smoking, looking into groups or programs with other individuals that are trying to quit smoking, maybe an opportunity for them to meet some like minded individuals. We were thinking of let's see, even starting out with like finding trails, walking trails, maybe hiking paths that they might like, leading up to something like a gym membership where they could find health conscious people. Obviously, looking into education on the challenges that come health wise with obesity and smoking, so they can see what they're looking at long term. And then and just like helping them come up with other solutions to help bring them out of their isolation, and being willing to maybe go try a hiking path with them, a gym day or something, to just give them a little bit more comfort, make them feel like they're not so alone in this task, but really just hearing them out and feeling what they're comfortable with and encouraging them from there.
I love that. You have so many options. It's like, how can you not have fun with Hillary going hiking? Like, I would love to go hiking with Hillary. That'll keep me out of my funk. Thank you. I love that. Education, this is a part of their treatment plan, could be too, because I know like on our team, I was a nurse. So on their treatment plan was education on diet, nutrition, and health, and that could totally change your mood right there. Even drinking water alone, Carlos, right? We got to drink tons of water. That helps your mood as well. All right. Oh no, Stephanie. Just saw your. Okay, let's continue. Oh, wait. Room. Who's next? Totally got distracted here. Ooh. Is it room 6? Helen, Isabel, Carrie, Shanae, and Stephanie. Yes. I like your comment, Joshua. All right, who's a spokesperson for room 6?
Well, from what I saw, nobody was chosen for a spokesperson, but I don't mind being a spokesperson.
Oh, I love it. Stepping up to the plate, Shanae.
So my approach would be acknowledging what's going on with them and asking them, are they up for change? Do they want to stop smoking? If you want to stop smoking, hey, you could start off with nicotine patches, nicotine gum, and we'll see how that goes. I'll come back in 2 weeks and you let me know how that works. And with the health condition, as far as the obesity and the obesity and diabetic, I will ask her, is she up for changing for eating habits? If she's up for changing, then we're gonna find some meal plans that's great for diabetic, and present those to her, see how she likes those. Then for obesity and what's the last one? Obesity and obesity is the last one. Okay, and for obesity, I will ask her if she's up for exercising. Would she like to start taking walks? And I would love to be accountability a partner. We can start off with a gym so she can get them legs warmed up. Then take it further and start taking walks. But I would love to be an accountability partner.
Oh, I love that. That's almost makes me think of the guy I went to the pool with, eventually starts doing it on his own. That's psych rehab right there, right?
Thank you.
Take him. Yeah, psych rehab right there. You're working it, like taking them to the farmer's market. That's always fun because I would be able to get my fruit too. Taking them to the farm, exposing them to some experiences that they may have not been able to be exposed to before, like growing a garden. All right. Thank you. Room 7, Angelina, Brandon, Carla, Kurt, Stephanie.
Good morning. I'm speaking on behalf of Room 7.
Right.
So I think one thing that we wanted to do first is understand why they were overwhelmed, like really get an understanding for exactly why they feel they're obese. Why do they want to stop smoking? If they're dealing with diabetes, what is it like for them to be living with diabetes? And then also following that, kind of maybe reflect on their strengths as well as their past, in order to start to empower them and get them to engage with those pieces of their existence, their life, in which they already have a strong foundation, so that they can refer back to those in which they build when they're building on new habits. One thing that I was thinking, like doing some small goal setting, figuring out what their goals are. What do they want to achieve? And doing that all around, like educating them as well. So potentially sitting with them and learning more about whatever it is that they want to address. Let it be in the form of handing them, like going over the resources or researching on the computer with them right by your side. Potentially also going with them to their primary care doctor in order to discuss obesity, quitting smoking cessation, diabetes, things like that. Because a lot of the time we don't want to start any kind of actual tell them what to do or even give them resources without a doctor signing off on it. And then allowing them to come to their own conclusions, asking them what their life would look like if they weren't diabetic, if they weren't obese. So giving them an opportunity to dream or think back to when they didn't have those afflictions, and applaud and appreciate every success.
I love that. Pulling out their strengths, like if somebody's pulling out good stuff out of you and giving you good feedback, we're going to feel better. But if they're pulling out like, oh, dude, you remember you did this and you did that. Big difference, big difference. Educating, right? So I took someone to the computer lab and we went in there and looked up side effects of diabetes, right? They didn't want to cut back on the sugar. So I was like, check it out. Look at this can of soda, and it showed the spoons, how many spoons of sugar in it. Scared the shit out of them, I have to say. Sorry.
Yep.
But showing them things, how you could have a heart attack or a stroke. I'm not scaring them, but I'm showing them these are symptoms that can happen, right? So, but then that was my job too, to do education on that stuff. But thank you so much, man. This is great stuff. I hear a lot of psych rehab in here. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, room 8. I think my coffee's kicking in now. Feliciano, Gail, Julia Sweet, Christopher, and Robin. Who's your spokesperson?
Oh, it's me.
Oh, hello, Julia Sweet.
Okay, so what we talked about was basically you want to present everyone with a warm greeting. You want to highlight positives regarding obesity and all that. You want to encourage healthy habits. Let me see. Like for example, someone's like dealing with obese. You want to suggest healthy things like let's make a great big salad. As for drinking, you want to go over the downfall of it, all in a positive way. You want to do it with love. Like, how would you feel if you didn't drink? You want to encourage positive thinking, and you want to personify activities of the day. Once they are telling you they're having a bad day, you want to question it some more. What are you feeling? How this may have started? If you have a pet, how about you want to go on a walk with it? Music to listen to, something to visually see. For example, I was talking about a peer of mine who I've been like helping for like the last couple months. He dealing with sadness, depression, and it's just getting him out more, out into the community, involving, volunteering, going to the gym, going to like outreach events. We also go to church together, so trying to encourage him to pray more. Like an accountability partner, checking in on him, seeing how he's doing. For sadness and depression, consistent outreach to a friend. You want to keep them distracted. You kind of have to drag them out of whatever they are in, and this can take work. You want to suggest things like going to the gym, hanging out with friends, being social, doing enjoyable activities like potluck in the park. We did that recently.
Yeah.
You want to go with friends. You want to go to a movie, out to lunch, pray, read Bible. Yeah, and then you don't want to overwhelm them. You want to take us one step at a time. Yeah, and one said encourage people. You want to encourage people, and then you want to share relatable stories with them, like maybe bring up something from your past or people you've known who've overcame issues, and show them you kind of want to be a positive role model in their lives. Basically, just giving them examples that can inspire them.
Right on.
Yeah, that's
Good
everything in a
stuff.
nutshell.
Right on. There's a lot of we have a lot of great ideas, a lot of different stuff too from everybody's experience here. I love it. Right. Oh gosh, you brought something up and then I forgot that thought. But thank you. This is fantastic. Okay, let's continue. I know in your reading, I put in another article by Dr. Mark Reagans. I don't know if you saw that in the portal. That was part of your reading. It's called Understanding Burnout and Protecting Ourselves. Pretty cool. Dr. Mark Reagans, really cool dude. I suggest reading it. What else did I have? There's that behavioral health activation worksheet. Please take this. You can also pick, pick one on with yourself, like however you want. But this is really good. Said if you were to work with your member, even for yourself, I know we have this. Check it out. Right. Keep it simple. Go back to basics, morning, afternoon, evening. This could be really helpful just as a start. To have these, if you were to do a group too. I know a lot of us are going to be doing groups as peers. So this is also something you could take to work on with that. All right, let's continue. We're almost done here. Take another break before you have Carlos. And let me share my screen. Oh, I'm sorry. Dead air. Okay, here we go. Dead air, dead air. That's weird. Okay. All right. Very strange. Thinking. Try that again. My apologies. All right, cool. Now we got it. Not yet. Holy cow. It's not my usual Canva. This is actually PowerPoint. Freaks me out. All right. So we're talking about behavioral activation. It's about making meaningful life. Making life meaningful, right, for someone, and pleasurable again, and it involves these steps and everything that y'all were working on. There's about vicious cycles, right, of inactivity. We talked about that circle. It's like, and you're feeling like crap. And then finally you jump over, right? And understand that we need to activate ourselves to feel better. Sometimes it needs just a little push from someone, a little bit of encouragement, right? Then we're going to be monitoring your daily activities, understand the relationship between our activity and our mood. Sometimes I don't know how many of you were told to do a mood log, right? Sometimes mood logs help. Sometimes, having them keep a journal, a feelings journal. Oops, over here. Identify your values and goals, working out what really matters. And then simple activation, scheduling and carrying out meaningful activities to boost our experiences of pleasure and mastery. So it takes action, contrary action, but these are some things you could offer the individuals that you're going to be working with, but also for yourself. And what's cool is Safety in Crisis with Helen is going to be awesome, because we're going to talk more about supporting someone with their, what is it? Your, what is it? Your daily maintenance plan. That's what it is. All right. Peer support specialists. We provide individuals we're supporting with a range of activities, self-care tools, and resources, which we all just shared right now with each other. And that's going to be useful in helping them achieve their goals. And like I said, you got to be healthy yourself, strong recovery, so you could be a positive, help someone else to recover as well. All right, staying healthy mentally. There is a website. Let me see if this one works still. I want to make sure, when we give resources, we want to make sure they're up to date. Who said that? Someone mentioned that. But here is a resource for you, and it's psychology tools, and I'll put this in the chat for you to check out later. Apologize if this is dragging. We're coming towards the end of this presentation. Just a little, we're almost done. Take a break. All right, this is showing you, this is just information on how to use behavioral activation, also called BA, to overcome depression, right? This is some good information, what it is. It gives you some sheets to work on, right? A lot of good information that you could go over this with yourself and others. But this is, I just gave you that website. That's staying healthy mentally, right? Workplace wellness, compassion fatigue, right? We talk about compassion fatigue, man, really feeling it with your members. And, like I said, like not going home, driving home. Sometimes I'd be like, overwhelmed, emotional residue or strain of exposure to working with those suffering with the consequences of traumatic events. I know, like, if you're working with someone and they're two individuals that are pretty intense to work with, let's just say, or you need a lot of patience with, try not to schedule those two in the same day. Burnout's associated with the team, right? Burnout. Okay, so accumulated process by emotional exhaustion, withdrawal associated with increased workload and institutional stress. So we get fatigue, compassion fatigue, right, from working with the members that we do. But when we talk about burnout, we're talking about going back to the office and documenting. How many know what I'm talking about with your hands? Yeah. Okay, so that's the part. Take care of yourself. When we do documentation, I will be doing documentation next week. Love yourself enough to give you that time at the end of the day to write your notes, right? And the whole compassion fatigue, the burnout is not related to any trauma or working with members. This is the stuff that happens in the office, like afterwards, like you're documenting how you take care of yourself, caseloads, the expectation, your productivity. Right. And then here's just a small list of managing compassion fatigue. Exchange information, express what you need verbally. Sometimes that's hard. Come to terms with the fact that, suffering, life is difficult. Life can be difficult, right? So sometimes, we talked about Michael Frente. Sometimes we want to blame the situation, blame the someone, not the person. But if we take responsibility, try to turn it around and try to find the opportunity in it. And show compassion to yourself by being kind, soothing, and comforting to yourself. Please take care of yourself on the weekends. Try not to work on the weekends. I did that to myself as well. catching up on my documentation on the weekend, I admit, because I wanted to see so many of my members and be out there and make sure I saw everyone. All right, so I'd like to hear, what are you going to do for self-care? Thank you. So I'm going to stop this. I just want to hear a little bit. What does someone do for self-care that's probably a little different this year? Annika, what do you do for self-care?
I communicate with my supervisor and I communicate with my employer.
Is that self-care? Hold on. Is that self-care? What do you do for self-care for yourself?
I advocate for
How do you take
myself.
care?
I
How do
advocate
you
for
take
myself.
care of yourself though? Like, what else though?
To take care of myself, I take my breaks.
Yes, that's good. See, that's Carlos.
I eat nourishing meals for,
There
you
go.
know,
Oh,
I
see, sometimes that's
on
good.
my lunch. I set an alarm to go to sleep early when I, you know, if I need to take a nap during the day, I just incorporate it, but I'll set my alarm to go to bed earlier.
Jeez, thank you. Thank you for that, because you just reminded me. I don't even do those things. Holy cow. Remembering to eat 3 meals a day. Holy cow, you're just going. Thank you, Annika. Kurt, what you got? What is your self-care? I have I don't know. Does it have to do with music by any chance?
I do, yeah. I play guitar as my self-care, but I also do this beadwork here.
Oh my
So
goodness.
it takes these little tiny beads, and I do these bracelets, and you get yourself out of whatever you're doing. And in my culture, you have to put your positive energy into it because you're going to give it away. So that's the self-care.
I love that. Gosh, I'm going to go do crafts now. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Matthew, Yolanda, Talon, and then Talene, right? And then Robin, and then Shanae.
I just go see my therapist.
Back to basics, baby. They say a good therapist always has a good therapist. Is that how it goes, Carl?
I've come to learn that, yes.
A good therapist always has a good therapist, I hear. I finally found someone. All right, thank you. Yolanda, what do you do for self-care?
I do 3 things, primarily dance, a massage, and the spa. I like to jacuzzi, but massage is number 1.
I love that. You know what I heard? I have to share this. Someone told me for self-care for themselves, I think if Helen's still in the house, whenever they have the extra money, they buy themselves gift cards for the nail salon or to get a massage. So later on, when they're feeling funky, they're like, oh yeah, I have this gift card. I'm kind of broke, but let's go get a massage or let's go get my toes painted so they can be happy. Thank you. Sorry, my coffee's kicking in. Talon.
I actually have a regimen because I have 5. I actually run 5 businesses, so my time can get really consumed. So one big thing that I do for myself is I give all my staff hours of operation for me, so that I can have time for myself too. But definitely, I think that the spa, massage, nails, all of that stuff is amazing. I typically will like put a Saturday aside just for those things so that I can just enjoy myself. And yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I tried saving money doing my own pedicures, but I was like, it's not the same. It's just not the same. Robin, hello.
Hi,
What do you do for self-care?
I like walking. I just walk as much as I can and let my mind just not think of anything. Just try to keep it blank.
I wish I could do that. I want to be like you when I grow up. No.
I work hard
Does
at
that
it.
take practice? Do you listen to music or you just kind of go into a space? I'm just curious.
I started out first counting, like I was doing laps and I was counting
Yeah,
laps and I would just say the lap number all the way around. So I would, but that eventually got to the point where I didn't think about anything.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Just kind of came through that way.
Yeah. Anybody swim in the pool? No. Yeah, it's like when you're underwater, you're completely in this own it's Helen. You're in this it's just a trip. It feels good. But I always forget how many laps I do too. So I have to bring checkers pieces because I lose count. Shanae, what do you do for self-care? Come on, blow us away.
Well, I love to make sure if self-care for me is not allowing my brain to do any thinking. Only way I do that is guided meditation. I turn off all the lights. I listen to it every day. It takes me to a peaceful mind state. I do healing the body, which it does the scan. So I'm not allowed to think. I'm allowed to just go along with the flow. And I also do massages. And I just want to be anywhere that is a quiet place. Anywhere there's a quiet place.
Right on. I love that.
No distractions.
Words of wisdom right there. Hold on, I gotta do this really quick. Drop the mic. Booyah. Thank you. Ruth, what do you have for us?
My internet's lagging, so I hope y'all can hear me. I garden barefoot. Definitely like grounding to the earth. And when I can afford it, I go to my favorite hot springs, which is, they don't treat the water at all, and it's in the redwoods. And there's no cell phone reception. So nobody can call me unless they call the front desk and there's like an emergency. So yeah, playing in the water and disconnecting from all the wires, I guess.
Oh, I love it. Thank you. We got to talk later. I want to find out where this place is.
Awesome.
It's awesome. I always tell you all, like, go on your break, take off your shoes, kick off your shoes, walk in the grass, you know. Carlos, what do you do for self-care? Throwing this out there. We're almost done.
Me or the other Carlos?
You. And then the other Carlos, is he here?
Actually, I don't think he's here today. It's a great question. I'm really working on right now is breath work. I'm realizing that when I'm getting stressed, I stop breathing as much. And I've been like more aware of this lately. So I'm trying my best when I start to shorten my breath to take a deep breath. So I'm really glad we did that activity. I also echo the walking. So thank you.
Yes, the walking for sure. All right. Helen's not in the house. All right. Thank you, everyone. Do me a favor and go ahead and work on your evaluations. I was going to show you a little self-care of mine. I'll drop it in the box if I could find it. But yeah, so when we come back, is that cool? We're going to take a little bit of an early break. Is that cool? Hey, did I show you all my cup that I got for Nurses Week? If you're happy and you know it, it's your meds. If you're happy and you know it, it's your meds. Sorry, I'm tired. But I will go ahead and put that in the chat. What I do for self-care. I like Yolanda dance music. Oh man, get up and dance. But anyway, okay, let's come back at 10:56, or do we want to come back at 11? What do you want, Carlos?
Let's do 11. Everyone, take a few extra minutes. Please practice some self-care. Shout out to Renee. Self-awareness and self-care is officially